everyone, it's Dapo from Tech Economy, and today, don't worry, it's not me you're seeing that single frame again. I have somebody exciting in the studio today with me, and we're going to talk about the cybersecurity trends in Nigeria, and of course, the future of digital transformations in Nigeria, majorly. But first of all, I would like to say, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, and of course, follow us across all our social media platforms. This is Tech Economy TV, and let the conversation begin. Alright, like I said earlier, our guest today is Mr. Philip. But that name, I will not, I cannot really say, I cannot really put some details in the surname. So please help me, sir.
Aiwekhoe.
Aiwekhoe.
Yeah, you got it right.
Philip Aiwekhoe.
Yes.
Wow. Philip Aiwekhoe. Alright, so interesting. I would like to say you should introduce yourself and give us like a brief of background into what you do. But I would like to let you guys know because he's a consultant for the Nigerian police. Yes, on cybersecurity and all that. But let me not do so much explanation. Alright, Mr. Philip, kindly just give us a brief juice into what you're into and what you do.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Philip Aiwekhoe. I'm a thought leader, a cybersecurity expert with over 15 years experience in the industry. I've been in this space for the last couple of decades, and I've been involved in a couple of initiatives within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I'm currently the CISO for NPF Microfinance Bank and cybersecurity advisor to the Police Service Commission, not the Nigerian Police. Okay. Also the founder for Charistech Consulting, a premier cybersecurity advisory company made to support businesses, and also a thought leader and a speaker. I've featured in several events within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I'm involved in a couple of things and also have a lot of things around cybersecurity, around building the gap and also raising young minds in cybersecurity. Those are what I've been doing the past 10 to 15 years.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm very particular about the raising young minds because I'm a young mind right here, and I want to learn a lot from you today. But I'll first start with the basics. What is cybersecurity like in Nigeria? Are we there yet? Are we getting there, or are we not there at all?
Yeah, like you can see, the digital landscape is evolving rapidly, and I would say as a country, we are not there yet, but the steps and measures to be taken to ensure that we are put on the right direction, we are gradually coming up on that. We have something like the National Cybersecurity Strategy, we have the AI strategy, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Bureau, and a couple of other agencies. And I know the government is doing so much around the AI and some other things to ensure that we strengthen that. So what we need to do more is the aspect of the adoption of all of these policies and initiatives. Then aspect of local content. You know, there is in terms of the financial sector, yes, there are quite a number of regulations from the CBN and all of that to regulate what they should put in place. But outside the financial sector, a whole lot still need to be done. So no strong regulation around what should be done on those sectors. So for the financial sector, because the financial sector is more like the bedrock of the economy, so CBN come up with strict regulation of, like for example, the risk-based cybersecurity framework for banks to adopt. And for that, for example, they've cascaded that to other institutions, which they're ensuring that other institutions like the Microfinance Bank and other financial institutions. And if you look at the economic scale, these other sectors, they are very key. So majorly it was just on the commercial bank, but currently they are domesticating this to other financial sector. But what we should do outside the financial system, which contribute about 40%, the other sector of the economy that makes use of data platform. So the policy framework around cybersecurity, what should be done, should also cut across those other sectors, and it should be strict enforcement so that the security architecture will be strong, not just only in the financial sector and other sector, because fraud crime is not just only on the financial sector. You can experience a fraud or an attack based on integration with other providers who are integrated to the system. So most time when we say there's an issue, most time we think is the bank, but it comes from the third party who are connected to the bank system. So that is where the major gap is currently in Nigeria.
So that's so much knowledge. But I'd like to bring you to like the basics.
Okay.
You can't just wake up and say, "Oh, today I'll just be a cybersecurity expert now." You can't just wake up and do that. So how did that start for you? How did you find that passion, and what was that drive for you?
Wow, for me, I would say the passion started 15 years ago. So first, I wanted to be a civil engineer.
Is that what you studied in university?
No, I'll come to that. So what happened after I wrote my first jam, I didn't get it right. So I just lost interest. So a friend of mine told me, there's a place you can learn how to repair a computer. Why no jam by waiting to get admission? I said, really?
Gap year, that's what we call it in the US.
Gap year.
For those of us from the US.
Okay. I'm from Nigeria. So I went there, I started learning how to repair a computer by the roadside, just going there. From there, I started developing an interest. So at that point, I changed my career. Like, I don't think I want to study civil engineering. Let me just go into this thing. I think there's something about it. And from there, I started seeing things I could do, because there where I was doing it, systems were bad. If I abandoned it, I started fixing it. I said, this thing sounds interesting. And in that process, I had a vision of myself being in a place where I was working on a system, but it was not hardware. Then I asked my friend, is there anything about computer outside hardware that someone can learn? He said there's software. I said, wow. From there, I proceeded to University of Benin to go and do my diploma in data processing. From there, after that, that's when the whole thing started. So on completion of my diploma, I started working immediately. So I started, while I was working on my BS, doing my BSc, I was schooling and working. And I started building my career, started doing a lot of programs, conferences, working for organization, implementing standard, and started going to different countries to go and speak. And that's how I started. And based on that, I saw the need of giving back to society. I came up with an initiative called the Future Cyber Leaders Mentorship Initiative. So that initiative is just 9 months. Within this period of 9 months, we were able to reach out to 600 students. Just a few days back, I just came back from University of Osun, where we had over 400 students. So what are we doing? We are exposing them to the practical aspect of cybersecurity and the career opportunities. Like I would say, globally, there are 3.5 million vacant jobs in cybersecurity globally. Yeah. But the major challenge is these key personnel who occupy this position. So what are we doing? Through the FCLMI, we are mentoring young minds. We are empowering them on how they can develop a career in cybersecurity and different aspects of cybersecurity, and we're on that journey.
Interesting. I'll look into like switching careers, because it looks like you guys are paid well. All right. So just to bring it back home, you said you went to Ocean to like speak to over 400 students who probably have interest in cybersecurity. But what are the trends that we can see in the cybersecurity space right now? What are those very common threats that we see that we can face? Because I mean, last year, like I said, a lot of banks had these kind of threats. And even in December alone, the reports were saying over 3,000 billion. In my mind, I'm like, how much do these businesses have that they have? Over 3,000 threats weekly. So what are the trends, and what are the most common kind of threats that we see in this particular landscape?
Yeah, thanks. Even that number, for example, for that sector is quite small.
It's small.
Yeah. Because there are some organizations, the attack is just like the way you have the organizations are protecting their assets. There's what we call their targeted group. Their job is the way you come to work, you dress up. They also go to work. What is their job? How to attack organization. That's what they do as an occupation.
Is that illegal?
It's illegal, but you have them out there, whether you know or not. They are there. So if that is there, meaning there's a consistent attack from the bad actors to see how they can penetrate into organization system. So for the common threats, one, the issue of phishing is very common. Phishing. Things around business email compromise also connected to phishing. You have things around API attacks. You have things around ransomware attacks. There are so much, but these ones are the most common ones. Ransomware, web attacks on web application. Then you have things around also credential theft. These are the commonly attacks that are out there and organizations are faced with, and they are increasing on the way. And with the advent of AI, I see that the threat landscape has cheated a bit, meaning AI is making it very easy for the bad guys to gain access. And also, if you can also take advantage of the AI, you can also use that to improve your cybersecurity posture, because you also need to learn what to do to mitigate against all of these attacks.
So quickly, and I know that a lot of people will be wondering, okay, yes, you're telling me I might probably get attacked or stuff. What are those things I can do for myself to protect myself as a business owner? Or I have a business, I have a website, I have a particular app that I'm operating. How can I protect myself? What are those things that I need to do to be able to keep myself safe from all these fishers?
Okay, very important is, I would say, cybersecurity is not just something you think of as a business as, okay, maybe we can do that later. No. While you are developing your business strategy, what we also advise is we tell organizations it should form part of your strategic plan as a business. So what you're having, most times when we do business plan, we want to achieve this, we want to achieve this. So what we are advocating for businesses, you must have a cybersecurity strategy that align with your business strategy. If it's okay, you want to have this app, you want to have this platform, you want to set up this system. While doing that, you start identifying what are the risks each of these various platforms will be faced with. Based on that, you identify the controls you should put in place. That becomes your cybersecurity strategy. First, for every business is to have a cybersecurity strategy that aligns with their business strategy. Then secondly, you need to have what we call basic underlying framework and policies. Very important. So now cybersecurity is not just something a business should just think, oh, we should or we should not. It's a necessity. As long as you're in business, it's just like an organization that will say, oh, we don't want to digitize. Any organization that's not ready to digitize today is an organization that has died 10 years ago. Same thing, any organization that's not ready to inculcate cybersecurity and digital transformation as part of its strategic plan is an organization that is headed for doom. So that is the reality of what we are facing today. So first, strategy. Secondly, policy and framework. Then the third thing, you need to also do things like risk assessments. So when I say risk assessment, look at your platforms, look at your digital things you use to provide service to your customer. What are the risks they are faced to? Then you now also align to say, okay, is my platform exposed to this kind of risk? If yes, what are the controls I have in place? Then things around vulnerability assessment, very important. That's why you have what we call like the ethical hacker and penetration testing. They continually carry out like a simulated attack on your platforms. It's very important. What do? They identify those loopholes, those vulnerabilities that the bad guys would discover and ensure that you quickly mitigate them. So these are not things businesses should overlook. So what are we advocating is this. Yeah, we've got a lot of organizations, they may not know what to do about this. And based on that, that was the reason that necessitated me in coming up with an organization to help meet that need. So those are the reason behind Charistech Consulting, to help mitigate that gap.